Finn Campen. This is the presentation for my final project in the React advanced course for Code the Dream. Okay, to start out, I'm going to go ahead and just talk about the application here. So you can see that the application is running on a localhost server. There are options to deploy this to the web, but I'm just going to showcase this on the localhost server. Okay, moving on. In order to get this to run on the localhost server, I installed a script in my package.json file in my application, so that way it's easier to run the localhost server. And basically, I can just type in the command to the terminal. Okay, moving on from there. Once the application is running, you'll see that there's a title at the top here of this page. This is the home route, and this one, it just says create a list. And below that, you'll notice that there's a text that says click here to create a list. So when I go ahead and hover over that text, you'll see that this, or the outside of it, appears to be red. So this is a feature that I've added, which is when you hover over it, this is actually a button. What will happen is when you hover over the button, the outside border will turn red, and that's done by design. So that way the user is, the user knows then that this is something that they can interact with by both the border and also the text here. So let's go ahead and click on it. And you'll notice that this then navigates us to a different route. So here, now we're on the to-dos page, or basically we can add to-dos to this to-dos list page. So here, I have my title for this specific page, which is just called to-do list. And then there's another little bit of text here, and then there's an input field where I can type in a new to-do. So let's go ahead and type in a to-do. I'm going to say finish turning in React project. I'm gonna go. Then I'll go ahead and click enter, and you can see that this is added to my to-do list. Let's go ahead and add another one here, and this time I'm going to click the button behind here, and as you can see, the button and the hover does work on this page as well. So and it's consistent across the board. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to say I need to take out the trash. This time, like I said, I'm going to hit an add button. Now you'll see that I have 2 items on my list. Okay. From here, I'm going to go ahead and showcase that this information is actually being stored on my Airtable API. And so on this Airtable database, you can see that all this, or each to-do, is being stored as a separate entity or entry. Okay, now just to showcase that it is actually updating my Airtable, I'm going to go ahead and take out the trash. I'm going to go back to here, and you're going to notice that it is no longer there. And I'm just going to refresh just to double check, and sure enough, it is no longer there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and click on the back to home button, or I guess the link here, and it's going to navigate me back to my home route. And so you can see that the navigation does work. I can go back and forth between the 2 pages. It is a very simple application, but everything does function. I guess something else to talk about here too is for this to-do list page, I am using CRUD operations to be able to add and remove and read the list that's coming from my Airtable API and to interact with it. But the one thing I'm missing is update. So that's something that I probably would add, so that way I could maybe change an entry if I needed to. If, let's say, like there's a misspelled word or something like that, or I needed to, I don't know, just like edit the back half of it, then I would be able to do so instead of having to remove it completely and then add a new entry. I'd say that another really useful thing that would maybe be something I could do to this to make this a little bit better would be to add like the ability to probably like search or to sort, or something like that, because if the to-do list was super long, I think that would be a useful feature to be able to find a specific thing, or to even sort it by like the date that you entered it or something like that. Could be useful just to display everything in a order that makes sense. So those are some things that I would add to this. But overall, this is my final project. I'll just showcase one last thing here, which is that the responsive design does work. So I'm going to go ahead and move these, or I guess change the screen size, and you can see that it is changing accordingly depending on the size. And then I'll go ahead and just show a couple of the set default sizes, or I guess screen sizes that you might have. So like an iPhone XR, you can see that that looks perfectly fine. An iPad Pro looks great there, and let's just say like iPad, or the last one was just an iPad, but we have an iPad Pro again. So you can see that yes, the responsive design does work, and I'll go back here and showcase that it does. And then I'll just type in a bigger number here to show that it works for larger screens. And of course, if I had a ton of time, I'd probably, make sure that and test it on different sizes, or a bunch of different sizes. But that's something I probably would, probably do at the end after I make sure that I've added some other functionality into my page. So yeah, this is my final presentation, and I hope everybody enjoyed it. Thank you very much, and have a great day.